So let's hover on a piece of that collaborative piece, right? And I keep hearing some clients over the years saying, we've got to set aggressive goals, and the people that own the measures, they're not going to be aggressive enough, right? They don't, because they have a day job. This is maybe not their day job, right? And we need them to stretch. So we need to just create the target and give it to them and hold them accountable, make them do it. Essentially, right? Why is that not effective? Either one of you.
Well, I'll let Jessica go, then I'll jump in.
That involves quite a bit of hubris, right? Just to begin with.
Yeah.
I think who better than a pharmacist in your pharmacy department, right? Who's developed the formulary collaboratively, probably with the PBM, who has, great influence over relationships with your pharmacies and related drug programs, who knows where the company's invested in the Part D space and what's available to communicate to members. Can we text them? Can we call them? Do we have a new vendor coming on with analytic capabilities that can stratify these people, et cetera, right? Who better than that pharmacist to help set those measure goals, to understand based on current and future investments in the Part D space and the structure of your formulary, what's possible, right? As far as adherence goes, and what's a stretch and what's just not realistic too, right? Just to add in a real life example of that, when I worked for a health plan in Oregon, our pharmacist lived right there in Oregon and was familiar with the key pharmacies that we leaned into, of course, right, to serve our members. And there was a year with quite a bit of wildfires, not quite what we're seeing in LA right now, but very similar, right? And a good number of pharmacies were impacted and closed down by these wildfires. And then there were others that members in rural Oregon really depended on as well, that were purchased and closed down by a larger pharmacy. That really changes strategy. It changes goal setting, right? To have this information. So, just to your point, to wrap up your question, Rex, and to lean into Mix's point about being collaborative, right? And involving measure leads. I think the leaders that sit in these departments, these functional departments for star ratings, are uniquely qualified to set measure goals in a way that a stars leader, who's more of a program manager across the organization, really can't do at a granular level.
Yeah, I think the collaboration piece that you both mentioned is important, right? Everyone has something that they're bringing to the table. It's very important to us when we're working with plans to do the goal setting or the target setting, to bring look at everything through different angles. One, we're going to want to come with a bit of the data and the insights, what's realistic, what's achievable, and what, from an individual standpoint, is going to aggregate us up to where we want to be. But when we host facilitated sessions and we talk through it, so because we're going to work with the STARS team and understand kind of where we need to be. But as Jessica mentioned, the measure owners, the people on the ground, they're going to have a level of insight that doesn't exist anywhere else. And you really need to get both sides of this to come out with goals that actually make sense and are going to get you where you need to be. I would say one of the biggest risks, if, like Jessica said, if the STARS team or a leadership team is setting the goals here, you're measuring performance throughout the rest of the year. And you want to make sure that everyone, top to bottom, is on board with these, so that when we're measuring performance, we're all nodding because we all agree this is where we were trying to get. If you do this in a vacuum and you do it to people instead of with people, the results just aren't going to stand.